අද්විතීය 200 Mbps ස්පීඩ් එකකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ වේගවත්ම සහ පුළුල්තම හෝම් බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් සම්බන්ධතාවය වන SLT මොබිටෙල් දේශීය ෆයිබර් බලවේගය ඔබත් අදම අත්විඳින්න.
හරිම සුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9, this Tuesday, the 6th of June 2023. Rationalisation. Sri Lanka to amend a VAT law to remove exemptions aims to boost tax income to 1.2% of GDP. People's franchise. Opposition leader calls government to hold presidential election. Government says no to elections before stability. Price regulation. With the decision to reduce prices of 60 drugs from mid-June, government seeks support to effectively pass the benefit of rupee appreciation to the people.
That is exactly why I'm asking the media. You should keep on, pressing as much as you press the ministry.
Collaboration. Sri Lanka's close and transparent engagement with partner countries and institutions pave the way towards recovery path.
We are very confident that we are back on track. Economically and otherwise. Tourism is growing. The financial sector is getting strengthened.
Alliance Finance මෙතුරු රන්නයි සේවාවෙන් රන් පවුම්කට රුපියල් 1,70,000ක ඉහළ අධිකාරම.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දිනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9 with Indivari Amuata. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
And a warm welcome. You're joining us tonight on your prime time English news service on AdaDerana 24. I'll take you straight to your top story. The Supreme Court has determined that certain clauses of the anti-corruption bill are inconsistent with the Constitution. Announcing the Supreme Court determination in Parliament today, the Speaker said these inconsistencies, however, will cease if the amendments as set out in the determination of the Supreme Court are made to the bill. Meanwhile, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa called on the government to hold the presidential election as soon as possible. However, the ruling party said the country's economy needs to be stabilized before holding an election.
The determination of the Supreme Court as to the constitutionality of the bill titled Anti-Corruption is clauses 1, 21F, 22, 32, 41A, 41B, 43, 17.1, 21, 31.2, 163.2H, 40, 48.3, 49.1, F, 51A, 53.1, 62.1, 65, 67.5, 71.6 and 8, 80, 93, 99, 101, 112, 149, 162 of the bill are inconsistent with the Constitution. However, these inconsistencies will cease if the amendment as set out in the determination of the Supreme Court are made to the bill.
ගරු අගමැතිතුමනි පළාත් පාලන මැතිවරණයක් කල් දාලා තියෙනවා සල්ලි නැtei කියලා. නමුත් පැහැදිලිව ඔප්පු වෙලා තිබෙනවා රජයට මුදල් තියෙනවා. බිලියන 10ක් මැතිවරණයකට වෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එසේ තිබියදී තමයි සල්ලි නැtei කියලා මේක කල් දමලා තිබෙන්නේ. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි ජනාධිපතිතුමත් මේ රටේ අධිකරණ පද්ධතිය ආමන්ත්‍රණය කරමින් කියනවා මේ රටේ කිසිම කෙනෙකුට මැතිවරණයක් අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඒ වගේම මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කිසිම කෙනෙකුට 150ක් නැහැලු. ඉතින් 150ක් තියනවද නැද්ද කියන එක සොයා බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් හොඳම ක්‍රමය තමයි මැතිවරණය. ජනාධිපතිවරණේ ඉක්මන් කරවන්න. අපි සූදානම් 150ක් තියනවද නැද්ද කියන එක ඔප්පු කරන්න.
ඔන්න දැන් පණිවිඩයක් දෙනවා. මොකද පණිවිඩය? ජුනි මාසේ 8 වෙනිදා අපි එනවා කොළඹට. කොළඹ වටලනවා. රට ආර්ථික වශයෙන් නැගිටිනවා. යට යථා තත්ත්වයටපත් වෙනවා. දැන් ලෑස්ති වෙනවා පාරට එන්න. 8 හැබැයි පාරට ඇවිල්ලා මේ ජන ජීවිතය රට ගෙනියන වැඩපිළිවෙල කඩාකප්පල් කරන්න හදනව නම් ඒක ත්‍රස්තවාදී ක්‍රියාවක් හැටියටයි අපි දකින්නේ.
ජූනි 8 වෙනිදා විරෝධතාවයක් තියන්නේ ඒක බය වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ජාතික ජන බලවේගයෙන් තමයි ඒක සංවිධානය කරන්නේ. හිටපු ඇමතිවරයෙක් කියනකොට පොලිසියට ඒගොල්ලොන් ත්‍රස්තවාදීන් ලෙස සලකන්න කියලා මම හිතන්නේ ඒක බරපතලයි.
අපිත් ඉන්නවා මැතිවරණයක් තියන්න ඕනේ කියලා. මේ වෙලාවේ ප්‍රමුඛ ස්ථානය මැතිවරණය නොවේ මේ රටේ ආර්ථිකය ශක්තිමත් කරලා මේ රටේ මිනිස්සුන්ට ජීවත් වෙන්න පුළුවන් වටපිටාවක් හදලා ඒක තමයි උද්දමනය අඩු කරලා මේ රටේ ආර්ථිකය නැවත ශක්තිමත් කරගෙන මේ සංවර්ධන වැඩපිළිවෙල ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන එක.
And a 14-member parliamentary committee has been appointed to investigate the damages caused by the MV Express Pearl and MT New Diamond maritime disasters. The committee is expected to make necessary recommendations. Commencing today's parliamentary session, Speaker of Parliament Mahinda Yapa Abewardena said Ramesh Pathirana will chair the committee and be represented by Suren Raghavan, Diane Gamage, GL Pires, Rauf Hakim, Vijita Herath, Sarath Veerasekara, Niroshan Pereira, Ajit Manapperuma, Nimal Lanza, Kavinda Jayawardena, Akila Ellavala, Nalaka Kottegoda, Tushara Indunil and Madhura Vithanage. The Express Pearl, a Singapore-registered container ship, caught fire off the coast of Colombo in May 2021, while the MT Diamond, a very large crude carrier, caught fire off the western coast of Sri Lanka in September 2020. Government says it is taking all necessary measures to regulate prices of pharmaceuticals. Joining the Cabinet media briefing this morning, Health Minister Keheliya Ramukwella urged the media as well as consumer rights organisations to launch a strong campaign to expose pharmaceutical importers who do not pass down the benefit of the rupee appreciation to the general public. Cabinet yesterday gave the nod to implement a 16% reduction to maximum retail prices of 60 medicines registered with the National Medicine Regulatory Authority with effect from the 16th of June. The prices of pharmaceutical drugs will be reviewed every 3 months.
Mr. Minister, I would like to ask you something related to health sector, which is the high cost of drugs. Pharmacists never bring down the prices of drugs. What are you going to do about this?
No, there are 60 which comes under the price controls. Widely used 60 which we have reduced by 16%. Rest of the drugs are brought by the private sector and then marketed in the private pharmacies. In fact, I will join hands with you to get a very strong media campaign against the people, against importers and who sells it above, not taking into consideration the depreciated value and get into the market at the right price. So I need your assistance, particularly the media assistance, to expose this. Because as far as we are concerned, we have certain controls, we exercise those controls. But beyond that, certain areas we don't have control.
Mechanism or any strategy to directly involve into this?
You say it's a government policy, it's a policy that you'll have to evolve. It's a policy where you'll have the price controls of all the items or have the competitive marketing. So we have chosen to have the competitive marketing, and if it is not working, well, we'll have to look at other options that are available. So that's one of the reasons where we have gone into where we have a pricing control can be effective. Areas where the pricing control can be effective with regard to pharmaceuticals, we have put our foot down and said, okay, we had continuous discussions with the importers also. Of course, they were talking about getting 10%, 12%. So finally, we came to an agreement that 16% is a fair amount, and we will be imposing it, and we will be enforcing it by the 15th, giving them a reasonable period of time of 10 to 12 days for them to adjust it. But as far as the rest of the things are concerned, it's an open market, free market, market economy, and market forces determine the price. Now, that is the policy. So what you are asking is as to whether we should change that. That is a decision that the head of the state, together with the cabinet, will have to, and the government will have to take. That is exactly why I'm asking the media. You should keep on, pressing as much as you press the ministry. There are consumer organizations. So I think they also must get activated in a situation like this. And whatever the assistance that we can offer, we can give, we are prepared to always give it.
Sri Lanka will begin drafting amendments to the value-added tax law to remove most existing exemptions and increase tax revenues as part of an International Monetary Fund requirement under the Extended Fund Facility Program of $3 billion to Sri Lanka. However, government said VAT exemptions on education, health and agriculture will be retained to ease the pressure on low-income families. Government will also revise provisions applicable to the VAT Act so that the simplified VAT methodology can be terminated from January 1st, 2024. Cabinet spokesperson Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said the Cabinet of Ministers had approved the proposal on rationalisation of value-added tax exemptions and the abolition of the simplified value-added tax system. With the amendments to the VAT law, a more formal methodology for repaying the value-added tax is to be introduced. Government estimated that tax revenue can be boosted to 1.2% of GDP with the reactivation of existing tax exemptions. And Cabinet approves new legal enactments on contempt of court. Details after this break.
ගොඩමඩ පෙරලි කරන බලපුළුවන් කාරයා මහින්ද්‍රා යුවෝ ඩීමෝ වෙතින්. වැඩම ගොඩයි ගොඩම තමයි. ස්වරාජ් ට්‍රැක්ටර් ඩීමෝ වෙතින්.
අබාන්ස් මිඩ්ඩිය මෑඩ්නස් සේල් 50% දක්වා වට්ටම් සමග මාස 24ක් දක්වා පොලි රහිතව ජුනි 20 වනදා දක්වා පමණයි.
Welcome back to the news. The Met Department forecast heavy rainfall of above 100 millimetres to several districts in the country. Issuing a weather advisory, the National Building Research Organisation further extended early landslide warnings to several divisional secretariat divisions in the Kaluthara district.
The Met Department forecast showers or thunder showers to western and Sabaragama provinces and the Galle and Mathura districts. Accordingly, fairly heavy showers of about 100 millimetres are likely in several places in the Sabaragama province and in Galle, Mathura and Kaluthara districts. Spells of showers are also forecast to the northwestern province. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the Uva and central provinces and in Ampara and Batticaloa districts during the evening or night. Strong winds of about 40 to 45 km per hour can be expected at times in the northern and north central provinces and in Hambantota, Putlam and Trincomalee districts. In this backdrop, the National Building Research Organisation issued early landslide warnings to several areas in the Kaluthara district.
With the cessation of the rain, the warning for some areas has been removed and the warning for the saturated areas has been extended to 4 p.m. tomorrow. With that, warning level 2 alert amber warning was issued to Mathugama and Palindanura Divisional Secretary Division in Kaluthara district. Warning level 1 yellow warning was issued to Valalavita, Bulasingala and Agalawata Divisional Secretary Division in Kaluthara district.
Moreover, the Natural Hazards Early Warning Centre at Met Department has issued an amber advisor for depression over the Southeast Arabian Sea. As a result, naval and fishing communities are advised not to venture into the sea areas until further notice.
A depression has formed over Southeast Arabian Sea and it is centered around 11.5 degree north and 66 east today morning, and this system is likely to move northward and intensify into a cyclonic storm during next 12 hours. So multi-day fishing communities are advised not to venture into the sea areas bounded by 7 north, 15 north and 62 east and 68 east until further notice.
Sri Lanka's first mobile journalism festival, Mojo Lanka, will be held in Colombo on the 24th and 25th of June. Jointly organised by the USAID and International Research and Exchanges Board, the festival aims to provide a dynamic platform for journalists, storytellers and content creators to explore the rapidly evolving landscape of mobile journalism.
A press conference on Mojo Lanka, which is Sri Lanka's first mobile journalism festival, which is planned to be held on 24th and 25th of June, was held in Colombo today.
We are very excited to be welcoming journalists, content creators, students, and just about anyone who is interested in producing content on their mobile phones to come and learn from local and international experts. For people to come and really get a hands-on learning experience.
Mobile journalism කියන එක ගත්තොතින් ලෝකයේ ජනමාධ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රය ඇතුලේ මෑත කාලීනව ඇතිවෙච්ච විශාල ප්‍රවණතාවක් තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි නිවුස් කවරේජ් එකක් කරන්න ලොකු ක්‍රූ එකක් අවම වශයෙන් 3 දිනකුගේ වගේ ක්‍රූ එකක් අපට පහුගිය කාලේ ජනමාධ්‍ය නිරත වෙනකොට අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි දැන් අපි මේ ක්‍රූ එකකින් කරපු වැඩේ මොබයිල් ජර්නලිසම් කියන පාර්ට් එකත් එක්ක අපට එක මෙවලමක් විතරක් අතට ගත්ත පුද්ගලයෙකුගෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් අවස්ථාව ලැබිලා තියෙනවා. මේක හරියම වාසි සහගතයි, ඉතාමත් ඉක්මන්.
The Cabinet of Ministers at its weekly meeting last evening gave the green light to introduce legal enactments on contempt of court, which includes the clear and precise provisions and situational circumstances regarding the offences of contempt of court. With that, here's a brief look at decisions taken at the Cabinet meeting this week.
The Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to introduce legal enactments on contempt of court, which includes the clear and precise provisions and situational circumstances regarding the offence of contempt of court. Further, defence and easing the penalty as well as the procedure to follow when easing the penalty will also be included. Accordingly, clearance from the Attorney General has been granted for the draft bill prepared by the legal draftsman. Therefore, the Cabinet granted approval to publish the draft bill in the Government Gazette and subsequently be tabled in the Parliament. Meanwhile, the Cabinet of Ministers also approved to award a contract for repairing Honeywell additional power units of Sri Lankan Airlines to Honeywell International SARL of Switzerland for an estimated $15.3 million for a period of 2 years. The government said bids were called through a limited international competitive bid. The Cabinet also approved a proposal to ratify the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty and to take necessary steps for legislation to enforce the provisions of the agreement of the treaty's member states to ban any nuclear weapons test or other nuclear explosion anywhere in the world.
Taking you to business news, State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe urged SAARC member states to cooperate for a resilient growth in the region and help each other overcome challenges. Speaking at a meeting on regional economic integration, the Finance State Minister added that the Sri Lankan economy is on the recovery path as authorities were able to engage transparently with partners.
The fifth special meeting on regional economic integration study of SAARC and the Asian Development Bank was held in Colombo last evening. Speaking here, State Minister for Finance Shehan Semasinghe called member states to identify strengths for stronger collaboration and ways and means to promote economic and financial integration beyond the South Asian Free Trade Area.
The region has a high demand potential for economic growth and development. The SAARC region's intertrade is approximately 1% of the SAARC's GDP and approximately 5% of the SAARC's total trade. Therefore, we should work towards strengthening South Asian integration to achieve our regional and individual prosperity to compete better with the ASEAN or European Union regions. The non-tariff barriers and para-tariff barriers are major constraints for regional integration and expansion of trade for mutual benefits. Sri Lanka is keen on energy cooperation, investment cooperation and trade facilitation. We appreciate the SAARC and the ADB efforts in this meeting to revitalize the process to promote the regional integration in the South Asia at a time where Sri Lanka is stabilizing and recovering from the unprecedented economic crisis we ever experienced. We are very confident that we are back on track, economically and otherwise. Tourism is growing, the financial sector is getting strengthened in Sri Lanka, and that itself shows how we can grow together. We are in this position today is simply because we engage transparently and very closely with our partners.
Colombo shares closed lower today, dragged down by industrials and communication services stocks. The CSE All Share Price Index settled down 0.23% at 8,746.45, snapping 4 straight sessions of gains. The ASPI closed in red following price losses in counters such as Expo Lanka Holdings, Aitken Spence and Valuable One, with turnover crossing 482 million rupees. Similar behavior was witnessed in the S&P SL20 index. On the CSE All Share Price Index, Expo Lanka Holdings and Sri Lanka Telecom were the top losers, falling 2.4% and 1.8% respectively. Trading volumes fell to 25.1 million shares from 31.4 million in the previous session. The equity market's turnover fell to 482.2 million rupees from 710.4 million in the previous session. Foreign investors were net buyers, purchasing stocks worth 29.6 million rupees, while domestic investors were net sellers, offloading shares worth 471.5 million rupees. And here's a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other major currencies during the day. And oil prices tumbled more than $1 a barrel today after a strong rally in the previous session, as worries about global economic growth outweighed Saudi Arabia's pledge to deepen output cuts. Brent crude futures were down $1.50 to $75.21 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell $1.47 to $70.68 a barrel. Brent had gained as much as $2.60 per barrel during yesterday's trade, and WTI as much as $3.30 after Saudi Arabia, the world's top exporter, said at the weekend its output would drop by 1 million barrels per day to 9 million barrels a day in July. But weaker demand, stronger non-OPEC supply potential, recessions in the US and Europe, and lower growth in China means Saudi's cut is unlikely to underpin a sustainable price increase into the high of $80 to $90. And that wraps up tonight's edition of First at 9 on AdaDerana 24. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. I'm Indivari Amwatha. Good night.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit AdaDerana.lk.